It was a bright Saturday morning when I first saw him. A tiny ball of fur with the biggest, brownest eyes I had ever seen. He was just 8 weeks old, a German Shepherd puppy, and I was bringing him home. The car ride was filled with happy whimpers and the scent of puppy breath. As soon as we got home, he hopped out, tail wagging so fast it looked like it might take off. He was home, and I was the luckiest girl alive. He was so small then, dwarfed by everything in my apartment. His little paws would tap on the hardwood floor, a sound that was music to my ears. Everything was new and exciting for him. Every shadow, every leaf, every sound was an adventure waiting to be had. I named him Max. It seemed like the perfect name for a dog that already had so much energy and life packed into such a tiny body. He was a whirlwind of playful energy, and I was determined to be the best dog mum I could be. Little did I know he would teach me just as much about love and loyalty as I would teach him about being a good boy. The first few weeks were a blur of puppy training, late-night accidents, and endless cuddles. Max was a quick learner though, eager to please and even more eager for a treat. Housebreaking was an adventure, but his big brown eyes, full of innocent confusion whenever he had an accident, made it impossible to stay mad. He was a curious little thing, always sniffing out new smells and investigating every corner of my apartment. Every object was a chew toy in his eyes, and I had to be quick to save my furniture from those needle-sharp puppy teeth. But his playful nature was infectious. He could turn a bad day into a good one with just a single slobbery puppy kiss. Max loved to play fetch, even though his version of it involved chasing after the ball with great enthusiasm and then forgetting what he was supposed to do once he caught it. He would just lie there, tail wagging furiously, ball firmly in his mouth, looking at me with the most satisfied expression. As Max grew, so did his list of antics. He had a knack for finding trouble, whether it was digging up my freshly potted plants or trying to make friends with the mailman, who didn't seem too thrilled at the idea of being licked enthusiastically by a puppy the size of a small bear. One time I came home to find my living room looking like a tornado of dog toys and shredded paper. Max, covered in the evidence of his crime, sat in the middle of it all, wagging his tail sheepishly. It was impossible to stay angry at that face. He was lucky he was so adorable and cute. Another time we were at the park, and Max, in his excitement, got his leash tangled around a park bench. He sat there looking at me with the most perplexed expression, as if asking, "How did I get here?" It took me a good 5 minutes to untangle him, and the whole time he just sat there patiently, tail wagging, making me laugh out loud. Walks with Max became my favorite part of the day. His excitement was contagious. As soon as he saw me grab his leash, he would head straight for the door. He would jump and twirl like a furry tornado, his whole body vibrating with anticipation. When we got outside, his senses would come alive. He would sniff every blade of grass, chase after every squirrel, and greet every dog we passed with a wag of his tail. He loved people too, and would often try to charm them with a lick on the hand or a playful nudge. He brought a new rhythm to my life, a reason to get out and explore, even on days when all I wanted to do was curl up on the couch. He was my furry alarm clock, reminding me that there was a whole world out there waiting to be discovered, one sniff at a time. He was growing up but not growing out of mischief. Time flew by and my little ball of fur grew into a handsome, strong dog. But even though he was all grown up, his playful spirit and mischievous streak never faded. He still got excited over the simplest things, like a car ride or a new chew toy. He had this uncanny ability to sense when I was feeling down. On those days, he would stay by my side, resting his head on my lap, looking at me with those big brown eyes that seemed to say, "It's okay, I'm here for you." Max became my shadow, my confidant, my partner in crime. We went on adventures together, explored hidden trails, and shared countless moments of joy and laughter. He was more than just a pet, he was family. Max was my loyal guardian. Underneath his playful exterior, Max was a protector at heart. He was always alert, always watchful, always ready to defend me from any perceived threat. Even though he wouldn't hurt a fly, unless it was particularly annoying and buzzing around his head. He had a bark that could make even the bravest soul think twice. One evening I was walking him back from the park when a group of older kids approached, talking a little too loudly and getting a little too close for comfort. Max, who had been happily trotting beside me just moments before, stiffened, his ears perked up, a low growl rumbling in his chest. He moved closer to me, putting himself between me and the group. The kids, seeing that look in his eyes, decided to pick on someone else and quickly moved along. I had never felt so safe, so protected. That's the thing about German Shepherds. They have this innate sense of loyalty and protectiveness towards their humans. It's in their DNA, and with Max it was no different. He was my furry guardian, my protector, my best friend. Life wasn't always easy. There were times when I felt lost, alone, unsure of what the future held. But through it all, Max was there. He didn't judge, didn't offer unsolicited advice, didn't demand anything of me. He just offered his unwavering companionship, his warm furry body a constant source of comfort. When I was stressed, a single look into his big brown eyes was enough to melt away the tension. His love was pure, unconditional, and it got me through some tough times. He taught me about resilience, about living in the moment, about appreciating the simple joys life had to offer. He didn't need words to communicate. His tail wags, his sloppy kisses, his excited leaps when I came home from work. Those were his ways of saying, "I love you." And I loved him back with all my heart. Max truly was my furry friend. There's something truly special about the bond between a human and their dog. It's a connection that transcends words, a language spoken through shared glances, gentle nudges, and a love that knows no bounds. Max taught me the true meaning of companionship. He was always there for me, no matter what. He was my furry therapist, my confidant, my cheerleader. He listened without judgment, offered comfort without words, and loved me unconditionally, even when I didn't deserve it. He showed me that happiness could be found in the simplest of things: a walk in the park, a game of fetch, a shared nap on a sunny afternoon. He taught me to live in the moment, to appreciate the little things, and to never take a single day for granted. The love between us would never fade. As the years passed, I watched Max grow older. His muzzle turned a bit grey, his gait a little slower, but his spirit, his zest for life, never dimmed. He was still my Max, my furry shadow, my best friend. His love was a constant in my life, a beacon of warmth and joy. He taught me more about love, loyalty, and companionship than I ever thought possible. He made me a better person, more patient, more compassionate, more present in the moment. He showed me that love knows no bounds, that the bond between a human and their dog is something truly special, a gift to be cherished every single day. I will be forever grateful. Looking back, I'm filled with gratitude for the time we had together. Max may have been just a dog to some, but to me, he was family. He was my heart, my soul, my furry soulmate. He taught me about unconditional love, about responsibility, about the simple joys of life. He showed me that happiness is a warm puppy, a wagging tail, a wet nose nudging your hand for a scratch behind the ears. He might be gone, but he'll never be forgotten. His memory lives on in my heart, a reminder to live each day to the fullest, to love unconditionally, and to cherish the moments, big and small, that make life so special. He was my heart's best friend. My journey with Max was the most heartwarming, enriching experience of my life. He was more than just a pet. He was my teacher, my confidant, my best friend. He taught me the true meaning of love, loyalty, and companionship. He filled my life with laughter, joy, and a love that knew no bounds. He might be gone, but the paw prints he left on my heart will remain forever. He was, and always will be, my heart's best friend.